During the research stage of my production, I used a variety of platforms to help me with the exploration of common conventions, along with artist research and also research on various materialistic products to justify their use in my production. For example, the drone and Premiere Pro, which were both key aspects to the completion of the production. One major platform I used was YouTube. I used YouTube to look at existing products in the electronic genre. An example would be that I was able to find all of Odessa's existing work and carry out a significant amount of research on them through their own YouTube channel, where they have an array of behind-the-scenes videos along with interviews which I could use to get to know their characters and listen to a variety of their songs for free. Blogspot was also heavily used. Anything and everything I found with regards to information, examples, ideas or designs was uploaded to my blog and evaluated further. Once I completed the music video, digipack and the magazine advert, I constructed together an online questionnaire and sent it to various group chats using Messenger, which is another example of a technology that I used during the research and evaluation stages of my production. This leads me nicely to Web 2.0. While researching throughout various periods of my production, whether it was in relation to the music video or the two ancillary products, being the digipack and the magazine advert, I was able to look at various social media platforms and begin to gather a general idea of how to sort of approach each product. Google Chrome was very important to the research of my media products, and one website in particular was Genius, where I could do thorough lyric analysis on a range of songs, which can be seen on my music video analysis section on my blog. From using this website, I came to a conclusion using a narrative with a direct lyric to visual link as a result of my findings. Web 2.0 was therefore vital to the altering of our end product. During the research stage of this year's production, I carried out a practice edit and then played around with some of the existing clips I had captured at a location we had shortlisted. I edited this to one of Odessa's current songs, and this gave us a slight insight as to how lyrics could potentially fit with the visuals and whether or not we want to work with this genre of music. Final Cut allowed me to do this very easily and efficiently. In the planning stages, for myself and Charles, it was important for us both to print checklists which we could easily take to shoots and then we could tick off and make sure we didn't then miss any needed or important shots, especially when working with our actress Sarah, as we didn't want to waste her time. Pages allowed us to do this with very little hassle and also very swiftly. And one benefit of doing it on Pages is that we would also always have an electronic version. We then emailed this between us so we could easily access it if we're out shooting if we didn't have it to hand for any reason. Blogspot once again was used as a tool for portraying what we had planned out. One example of using Blogspot during the planning and preparation stages is my blog post on shot lists. On this blog is an example of our shot lists which were created on Google Sheets, which is another example of media technology I use with regards to Web 2.0 once again. Within the planning stage, I also used Final Cut and YouTube to graph together a location scouting video which will be embedded below. During our location scouting mission and when planning where we would be best to shoot, I filmed various features and aspects I'd like to focus on within the evaluation of my blog. I filmed this on my Canon SX700HS PowerShot point-and-shoot camera, which shoots at 60 frames per second, and by doing this, Charles and I were able to see how these would transfer onto a screen, because sometimes what appears to be a breathtaking feature in person at such a significant scale like the cow and calf can then appear very small or anticlimactic. By filming such features, we can then discount these clips or alternatively work with ways to overcome each issue. Finally, when planning the original route on Ilkley Moor and at Fewston, I used Google Maps and Google Images to gather secondary information which would be used when deciding where to go. This was somewhat very important, however, more so to use images to help paint the picture on my blog of what our plan was before we went, and then using my own images afterwards to provide a contrast and perhaps evaluate upon this with a potential change of opinion after our own primary research. To begin with, I used a variety of digital cameras during the construction of my products, otherwise none of it would have been created at all. I used the Sony SLT A58 DSLR, which was provided to me by school, and this was used during the location scouting video, the Fewston video, and in some of the inside shots in Scene 1. Along with the Sony, we used the Canon 7D for the handheld shots based inside the protagonist's house. Outside, however, during track and chops, we opted to use the Phantom 4 drone due to its built-in gimbal, achieving a steadier shot as opposed to the Canon. Furthermore, to begin with, I used Final Cut Pro to edit and construct this piece. However, after deliberation over a comparison between Premiere Pro and Final Cut, we opted to swiftly move to Premiere Pro and re-begin our editing process. On Premiere, I was able to then take control over some more colour correction and have a more manual approach to editing the clips, really being able to delve into the dynamics of each clip and altering small details which come together to improve the bigger picture. When signing up for the 12-month contract with Adobe, I also have access to After Effects, Photoshop and Illustrator, which are just a few of the many apps they have available. I was then able to use this during the creation of the Digipack and the magazine advert. There were free advert creation websites which I did see peers using. However, I wanted to demonstrate more skills by doing it firsthand and using a greater variety of media technologies in the construction of my ancillary products and the video itself. At the end of my music video, I've incorporated a title sequence which was made apparent to me to be compulsory by Odessa's management team, who gave Charles and myself permission to use this song. This was created on After Effects, which works directly alongside Premiere Pro. What you do to a clip in After Effects automatically changes it in Premiere, which is very useful. Finally, with the construction of my media products, I used social media to export a finished product to my audience. I then posted it to my YouTube channel as well, sending it to group chats on Facebook, Messenger to be more specific, and on Snapchat to close friends to ask for their opinion and feedback, bringing me onto the evaluation stage. Along with social media like Facebook, to get the video out to as many people as possible, I also used an array of instruments in my evaluation stage. During the initial stages of research, when evaluating market research, we did this manually and calculated pie charts on Microsoft Excel, which is another example of media technology that I used. Once I completed the music video, I constructed together an online questionnaire on SurveyMonkey, and I then sent it into a group chat using Messenger. From here, I was able to analyse feedback and comment on it. During my evaluation questions, I aim to use different techniques. For example, question 1, I used SlideShare to exemplify my PowerPoint and on how I have followed forms and conventions of music videos within my genre. For evaluation question 2, I then used a Prezi, which is an example of Web 2.0, identifying the combination of my main product and its ancillary products with the description, also in a creative manner, which I think is important. Evaluation question 3 uses Blogspot due to going in depth on feedback graphs. This is the clearest and, in my opinion, the best way to show this information. Finally, I have used a YouTube podcast for my evaluation question 4 by producing a podcast, another used media technology. Overall, I have used a large array of media technologies throughout my production, exemplifying various skills and techniques.